And exposure therapy deals with exposing you to something that disturbs you, and simultaneously, making you calm. So it kind of desensitizes you from something that you are either afraid of or you feel discomfort. Okay, so we are using these two main methods in emotional freedom technique. Now, it's very effective almost in every situation. There's a lot of research done for post-traumatic stress disorders, where EFT is very, very powerful and effective. It absolutely does a lot of good work in anxiety and depression, to alleviate anxiety, in fears and phobias, because there also there's a anxiety. What is the issue? It's very good for sports performance or any other performance whatsoever, because again, what stops you from performing your highest and best is the fear and anxiety. It's amazing in insomnia, when you can't fall asleep, right? It induces sleep. Insomnia very often, I mean, in insomnia, what we're experiencing is the racing thoughts, and we are focused on something, and that disturbs us, and we lose sleep. In physical pains and aches, it is directly useful. Let's say you have a headache, whether it's a throbbing headache or it's a migraine or toothache or stomachache, the pain decreases if you are using EFT. And even if you don't subscribe to the school of thoughts where we say that almost every physical disease originates from your thoughts, still how EFT is used for decreasing the pains and aches is, when you have a lot of emotional disturbances, your immune system uses its energy to suppress it, right? And your immunity is required to deal with your physical diseases, to restore your body to the healing. It's a self-healing mechanism. So as soon as you begin to work on your disturbed feelings and emotions, and you kind of release them, and you do have the memories of those instances, because there is no therapy on earth which is going to create amnesia, that you don't remember that something has happened. What we are trying to do here is we are trying to release the stored feelings and emotions with it. Otherwise, you will remember those incidents. So when you release it, your immunity gets the freedom now to focus on your physical pains and aches. And there is a lot secondary gain from EFT, where you are working on the emotional feeling, and then you see the symptoms of your physical disturbances decrease. Of course, it's amazing to directly work on unresolved emotions of, let's say, guilt or shame or anger or fear, etc. We use EFT in weight management, whether it's reducing the weight or gaining the weight, because again, EFT works on to reduce your cravings, to motivate you to exercise. It works because many times the food and emotions are related to each other. Almost half of the times we end up eating emotionally, right? And it works on addictions. In addictions, we deal with the anxiety that how my life is going to be if I stop my addiction. It is cravings. You crave your addiction substance or behavior. So it works on that craving itself, and the emotional connection as well. So between addictions and there's an emotional connection. You are attached to your addiction, right? And there is a habitual behavior as well involved in that. So we are changing the habits with EFT. So it's a very versatile, standalone therapy, I would say, and very, very effective. You can use EFT almost on everything. It works on you, it works on children. And the best part of it is that it's so simple, you can do it anytime yourself, right? Of course, now, if you go to the therapist and you do EFT session with a professional, healing might be rather much faster, much shorter. However, you can do the great work on yourself as well. So do we have any questions till now, or we move forward? Okay, so I assume there are no questions as of now. So let's move to how do we prepare ourselves for EFT, okay? Now, the first step is that we focus on the problem. If we are doing something that is occurring right now, let's say I'm going into the examination and I'm anxious and I have a couple of minutes, of course, the problem is right in front of me and I don't need any focus. It's right on my face. But if something has happened many years ago and it still bothers you, it still disturbs you, then you probably want to focus on that issue, on that event. And as soon as you focus on that event, there are a couple of things that might happen. Either you are going to have an image in your mind, or probably you are going to see it like a film. So I don't want you to close your eyes and step into the experience, because some of the experiences are very, very scary, especially experience of, let's say, abuse or maybe, accident. So we don't want to step into the experience. We just kind of want to watch it on the movie, right, on a television. So when you focus on that event, there will be disturbances, discomforts coming up in your physical body as the sensations. It could be some pain or heaviness or throbbing or tingling or whatever is the sensation in your body, right? It could be in your head, it could be in your throat, it could be in your chest, your stomach, your hands, legs, just about anywhere in the body. So I want you to identify it and write it down. The next thing you will do is you will identify the feeling. Okay, now feeling, you already saw the huge list that I've created of the feelings. So I want you to be very specific in your own language. How do you feel? Whether it's a feeling of sadness, or I'm lonely, or unwanted, or unloved, even though these are not the real feelings, right? For example, if I say I'm unwanted or I'm unloved, it's basically assumption that there is another person outside me who is supposed to love me, but that person does not love me. Okay, so it's not a direct feeling, but don't pay attention to that. Just write however you feel. Okay, now the fourth step is to have an imaginary scale from 0 to 10 and identify the number which best describes your discomfort. 10 being the highest and 0 being absolutely no reaction, which means that I'm able to watch the film, I'm able to go back into that memory, and I absolutely have no emotional charge. Okay, that would be 0, and 10 would be the highest in its intensity, whether it's a fear or pain, anger, etc. Now, the next step, which is the fifth one, is to create the statement, which is called EFT statement, okay? And I'm going to show you how it looks. And then the last point is to start tapping. So if you have any question at this time, please unmute yourself, or I'm going to step into creating the statement part. Okay, no questions yet. So here I have an example of what I just said, focusing on your sensations. So physical sensations would be heaviness in the chest, sweating in my palms, or tension or headache, or discomfort in the belly, or dry mouth, or any physical sensation. Physical feelings could be that I'm scared, I'm anxious, helpless, angry, frustrated, unloved, worthless, or I have this craving for the chocolate, for example, that could be also a physical sensation. Yes, so now we begin to create the statement, okay? And here comes our exposure therapy in a place, exposure and cognitive therapies that I said. So first part of the sentence is from the exposure therapy, which means I'm exposing myself to the discomfort that I'm feeling. So even though is how statement starts, and we say exactly what is happening. Even though I have this headache, or I have this toothache, or my stomach hurts, right? Even though, or even though I have fear of heights, or even though I'm anxious about tomorrow's exam, Or even though I have the urge to eat chocolates, or I have urge to smoke, doesn't matter. Or even though I feel afraid, or I am angry. So this is your exposure therapy part. You are going to state exactly what is the issue, okay? And you need to be very, very specific. So instead of saying the headache, if you are feeling it like throbbing, you can say this throbbing headache. If it's a migraine headache, you can say migraine headache. Be as specific as you can. Yet I choose to heal and integrate that part of me, love and accept myself deeply and completely. So this part of the sentence comes from the cognitive therapy of self-love and acceptance, okay? So main sentence is, even though, then there is an issue that you are going to insert as closer to the reality as possible. Yet I choose to heal and integrate that part of me, love and accept myself deeply and completely. So this is your sentence. And you say the sentence out loud 3 times while rubbing karate chop. Okay, karate chop is this bulky part of your hand, irrespective of any hand, whether you want to take a right hand, left hand, doesn't matter. You begin to rub like this, or you begin to tap like this, okay, while saying the sentence 3 times. So even though I have this throbbing headache, yet I choose to heal and integrate that part of me, love and accept myself deeply and completely. Even though I have this headache, throbbing headache, yet I choose to heal and integrate that part of me, love and accept myself deeply and completely. Even though I have this throbbing headache, yet I choose to heal and integrate that part of me, love and accept myself deeply and completely. This is how you do it, okay? First step. Second step, you begin to tap the other meridian points on your body, okay? While repeating the reminder sentence. Now, reminder sentence is something that is going to keep you focused on that movie, okay? If I'm dealing with the past, or right now, I will focus on my headache, for example, yeah? I said throbbing headache. Guys, I don't have the headache, by the way, yeah? Don't worry. I don't know why I chose this. So we begin to tap 7 times each point. So I'm going to remove this. So you take your fingers and begin to tap first where your eyebrow begins, nose ends and eyebrow begins. This is the part. You're going to tap it 7 times. Don't be too harsh, neither don't be too light. So you need to feel this tapping, okay? Around 7 times. You could do 6, 7, 8, doesn't matter. And you are loudly saying the reminder statement, okay? Reminder statement is this throbbing headache, 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 this throbbing headache. I'm going to explain these points in a while. Then you rub the fingers, except the ring finger, this throbbing headache, this throbbing headache, this throbbing headache, this throbbing headache, and this throbbing headache. Okay, this is the point 2. So let's focus on the points. First is beginning of the eyebrow, 7 times. Where eye ends, right here, 7 times. Below the eye where cheekbone is, yeah, 7 times. Between the nose and the lip, upper lip here, 7 times. Then between the lip and the chin in this place, 7 times. Then on the collarbone, right here. Any side, doesn't matter which side you are doing this, yeah? Whichever hand is comfortable for you. And then under the armpit, approximately 4 fingers distance, you are going to press it 7 times. Then you are going to massage like on the slide on those fingers, except the ring finger, and continue this throbbing headache, this throbbing headache, this throbbing headache, this throbbing headache. Leave the ring finger, and then the place between the little finger and the ring finger, this is called gamu. Okay, So just rub this. This would be the second step of practical EFT, okay? Do we have any question till now? Okay, so I move to another slide. The last part of this round, one round of EFT, is to place your hands on the thymus point right here like this, okay? And to inhale through the nostrils and exhale through the mouth as if you are blowing into a balloon. And you do it 7 times, okay? And tendency here is that you close your eyes. Automatically it happens. You don't have to, but it's just the tendency. When you breathe, automatically your eyes closes. Now there's another important aspect over here. Make sure that your inhalation is shorter than your exhalation. So what do I mean by that? If you are inhaling, let's say on a count of 4, yeah? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you exhale longer than 4 counts, okay? So these are called 7 deep cleansing breaths. And with this, you end one full round of EFT. I'm going to go back and run you through the slides. Probably you want to take a screenshot or take a picture of it. But this is one full round of EFT. And now you need to come back to your story, if you are imagining, or to your real headache, let's say, if you are dealing with it, or real anxiety of exam right now that you are going to step in, and evaluate the discomfort again from 0 to 10. Okay, so initially you must have given a number, let's say 10 or 9 or 8 or 6, or doesn't matter. And now come back and evaluate your discomfort again. In 99.9% of cases, this number is going to decrease and come down, okay? It might not come down to 0, but it will decrease. In such case, you begin second round of EFT, okay? Now, is second round of EFT statement absolutely same than the first round? Might be or might not be, okay? You could change the statement if it has decreased. You can say, even though I still experience this remaining throbbing headache, okay? So I still have remaining pain or remaining anger or anxiety. You could do that. Or as you run through that image or the picture or the movie in your head while going to that situation, you might come up with another sentence. The focus is again on the same feeling and emotion. So let's say, even though I was so frustrated when my chemistry teacher screamed on me in front of the class, okay? So even though my chemistry teacher screamed in front of whole class and I was so angry and frustrated, yet I choose to, and you did EFT on it, right? The second time when you run through, it might not be the frustration, it could be anger and sadness, right? So you are going to now focus on what feelings does it give you, and with the same movie, with the same incidents, you are going to work on another feeling and emotion until you are going to bring it to 0, okay? Usually what we say is, if you are dealing with physical pain, let's say with migraine or toothache or something, you do not bring it to 0, you bring it to 1, you bring it to the level that's manageable, because you still need medical assistance. We are not doctors here. We don't say that if there is a headache, throbbing headache, it should go away and never come back. No, because if there's a pain, it just tells you you need to pay attention in and now. We don't know what that headache is and what's happening inside your head at that time. You could have a very high blood pressure and that's why you have a headache. So if you are going to completely, let's say, eradicate that headache, you are going to put yourself into a danger. So make sure the physical pains and aches are just manageable. However, emotional pains and aches can be completely dealt with EFT. So until your anger, your guilt, your sadness, or whatever it is comes to the zero, you can do these rounds. Now, how many rounds would be required? It's not fixed. Sometimes in one round, it could go away. Sometimes you might need 3 or 4 rounds, okay? And it's not necessary to deal with it immediately. So you can just work on it. Let's say it took 5 rounds and you don't have time or you are tired. You can just stop wherever you are and you can pick it up later and continue later. I would like to know if you have any questions to ask me. Not really. There are two ways to understand it. Either I'm a very, very good at it and I explain you very well, or I'm too bad at it and you couldn't understand anything. So at least tell me, is everything okay?
You were great. There's nothing to ask because you explained every single thing so nicely. So we just enjoyed following it.
All right, all right. Thank you. So here is the second part of the EFT. So after deep cleansing breath, which I just explained, you will evaluate on your scale, your SUDs, which is the subjective units of disturbance. This is how we call it in therapy, those numbers. And then you go to the another part of EFT. So right now, what I would like to do is, do you want to go back to the slides to kind of take a snapshot? Would you like to do that? Like probably this one?
I have already taken a screenshot.
Well, you have taken the screenshots because this is the sentence that you would need.
If I could ask,
yes.
If you're not going to share the presentation, is it okay if you just quickly go back to the screen so I can take a screenshot?
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I can share with I'm not possessive about my PowerPoints. It's just not very great, but yeah, here. Which one you want? Should I go to the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. And also I have a question. If you have a number of issues, would it be best to focus on one and do the session, or you can kind of do a number of issues per session? Is it something that you need to focus on particularly?
Yeah, amazing question. Yes, you need to not only focus on the particular issue, you need to focus on your particular language. Okay, so probably in my example, if you would have done the my headache versus my throbbing headache would heal it much faster than saying only the headache. Now, what happens is that we all have a lot of experiences, right from the childhood till the date, and a lot of painful traumatic experiences, more or less. Now, when you start EFT as a detox, what I'm suggesting you to do is to do EFT every single day of your life, okay? Beginning from today, just before you go to sleep or whenever you have time, just say, I'm going to do it just for 5 minutes or just for 10 minutes a day. And here is the plethora of choices of emotional traumas that we are going to deal with. Now, it's like, imagine yourself if you are on a boat, okay, and you have all this baggage with you, and you know that you are going to throw some of it into the water and feel lighter and it's easier to row. Which would be the first one you want to get rid of? Okay, ask yourself. Or probably, which situation is bothering you a lot? Let's say in a day's time or a week's time. So if you had some arguments, let's say with your father during your childhood, and there is some traumas accumulated over there, versus you have a horrible boss that you have to deal on everyday life. Now, which would be more on a priority list for you? I think the boss first. Okay, there could be a connection between these two. So the authority that you have experienced in the past from your father is manifesting here, and dealing with this in EFT would take you back to your father issue. But yes, you need to prioritize, and you cannot take, 10,000 issues together and start an EFT that this also happened to me and that also happened to me. No, you need to do it event wise. Okay, so what you might want to do, you might want to write down all the negative experiences that you had from your childhood as a list, so you can just name those experiences. Let's say, chemistry class in 7th standard, yeah, just give it a name to that event. So write down those and then prioritize which one you want to work first. And trust me,
so much.
in 30 days time, if you do it every day, where you are going to be, it's unimaginable right now for you. Because we don't even understand what happens is these issues creep into our body and create this discomfort, which we don't even feel so slowly. It's kind of smoking. Like when you begin to smoke, if any one of you is a smoker, it damages your body, but you are not going to feel immediately. Only when you stop it after, let's say, 20, 30 years of your life, and you begin to gain that health, you realize what all you have lost. So similarly, experiences with EFT, when you begin to let go this emotional traumas. And what do we mean to let go? Please understand it correctly. You cannot change your past. There is no way. There is no way you are going to forget what happened. There is no way. You will remember it either by yourself, or you could probably watch some serial and there was a similar experience between, father and daughter over there, and it's going to bring the memory from your past. However, it's going to be exactly the same way how you are watching the film. While watching the film, sometimes we do cry because we identify ourselves with the character, right? However, when you narrate the movie to your friend, you never begin to cry. It never happens to any of us, right? So similarly, your life experiences are going to be the films that you have watched once upon a time, which was scary, where you cried, you felt sad, angry, miserable. But right now, as you are narrating the story to someone or you're watching it in your head, there is absolutely zero emotional disturbance. This is healing. Okay, and this can be achieved. And when this is achieved, if you had any pain, any ache, any chronic diseases in your body, they begin to heal so fast. You feel you are more inspired to breathe. You are more inspired to do things that you want to do, because it's kind of huge part of you has been caged and wasn't available to you. Okay, it's like half of you is not there. Only half of you goes through the life experiences, that every day as you begin to tap, more and more of you is available. So you become kind of whole. That's what healing is. And you might not feel it every day. You might see the results like this immediately, or you might not feel immediately, like after a day or two, and there are no changes, but then boom, one fine day, it's right on your face. So it's extremely powerful. It works wonders with kids. Children just love it. Now, to the child, if you are doing it to the child, don't say between 0 and 10 how intense it is. Just ask them to show with your hands, right? So how much it is it this much or is it this much? So they can very well identify your SUDs, your subjective units of disturbance. And they love the process because it's like a game. And while they are breathing, you can just, switch on their favorite song, for example, or you can sing for them. So it works really well with kids.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes.
Regarding this technique, now the thing is that many times we have expectations from a lot of people, be it spouse, be it children, or be it anybody else. And when those expectations are not fulfilled, and when we do this technique, but still the expectations are not fulfilled. So how do we make ourselves feel okay with that, or come to an understanding that those expectations are not going to be filled, because the mind again seeks, or waits that that expectation might be fulfilled, or it just tries. And many times, it's like two people don't agree, and those expectations are not fulfilled. So how do you teach yourself to accept that?
Okay, so it's an
Even
amazing.
especially in case with the children, many times they do not do things according to your expectations. So how do you uh, teach yourself that it might not happen? And
Yes, yes, yes. So it's an amazing question, and it has many different answers, but I'm going to look at it in two different ways since we're dealing with EFT, right? So basically what I hear from your question is that, okay, I'm going to do the EFT, that I'm angry and disappointed right now because he didn't behave in a manner that I wanted him to.
Again.
Can you hear me?
yes.
Can you mute your sound, please, because there are disturbances? Andrea, I think, yeah. So I'm going back to answer that question. So what you asked was if someone misbehaved. So I expected him to do this and he didn't do it, and I'm upset. And now I'm doing EFT and say that he didn't do what I was expecting and I feel upset, yet I choose to heal and integrate. And I let go my anger and frustration. That's good. However, you are saying, what do I do next time to prevent him not doing it? Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So now, obviously, you doing EFT is not going to change somebody else's behavior. It is going to only change your behavior. So probably if you say that even though I was so upset and I screamed and shouted and I did this, whatever behavior you had on that reaction, probably this reaction is going to change. Okay, now EFT, like any other modality, has got its limitations. And the first limitation is it works only on you. It doesn't work on others' behavior. Okay, now I truly believe, I deeply believe that our loved ones, especially our, let's say, partners, yeah, and our children, they do love us. They do want to spend their lives with us. And their intention of doing or not doing things comes from a very good space. Okay, for example, if your child doesn't want to clean their toys after they have played, okay, and you want to change that behavior because each time you become frustrated and each time you do this, it's great, but that's not the point. Point is to teach the child to do it. Now, with regards to children, they learn best not when they are told, but when they observe. Okay, so initially, it's amazing if you can be part of the game, and the cleaning is also part of the game. For example, I'm just giving you the example. Okay, remember that children will not learn while telling them, ever. They will only learn by observing. So if you are working on the computer and there are papers over there, and always child observes that after you are done, you have taken it, kept it somewhere where it belongs, all the papers are stuck together and kept it, child is going to observe and do the same thing. And if child is not doing, you can teach them in a game. Okay, now with regards to, let's say, spouse or adult for that matter, when you expect something, first of all, there is a communication gap over there. First of all, whatever you expect, has it been delivered in a communication? So if I expect that cup of coffee goes into a whether it's a sink or the dishwasher, if that's my expectation, have I communicated it? And in what manner did I communicate it? Is very, very important. And there are communication technique that I love the most is called like 3F, which is its fact, its feeling, and its future strategy. Okay, so fact is that you didn't keep your coffee cup today. Don't say you always leave it, because that's generalization and that irritates everyone, including yourself, okay? Say that today morning you forgot this cup on the table. I felt angry and irritated. Next time, can you please put it over there, wherever you want it to be, right? So what you have done now, you have expressed what was the fact that he cannot or she cannot argue with you. That is exactly how it was. So when you are stating the facts, please be sure that you stated exactly how it was. So if he was late for 30 minutes, just say you were late by 30 minutes. Don't say you are always late. Speak only for today. Say that I was very angry and sad or irritated or frustrated. He can again not argue with you, because those are your feelings. You are not blaming anybody. Okay, you are saying this is how I felt, right? And the next time, if you are going to be late more than 5 minutes, please do message me. Now you gave him the strategy, what he can do for the next time. And same 3F you can use for the kids as well, of course. Now, if I come from understanding that my friends, my parents, my kids, my spouse loves me, their intention is to keep me happy and not to make me angry, sad, frustrated, lonely, bored, etc., etc. So if I've communicated, they are going to, plus they have a strategy, right? They're going to behave in that manner. Now, if somebody wants to irritate you, exactly then you are giving them the ticket how they are going to irritate you, right? So EFT is amazing, that works on you. And when you change, situation around you changes, because your body language changes. When you are angry, yes.
Yeah, sorry, I just had a question. While you said that there should not be a communication gap and you should use the 3Fs properly, I do understand that, but there are times, to be honest, there are majority of the times when the other person, especially the partner, does not want to speak about it, does not want to communicate about your problem. How do you resolve it within yourself? Because this causes a lot of anxiety and stress within me. So if I am not able to communicate because the partner is not willing to communicate, so how do I console myself? How do I make myself feel okay? Because, it's important for me to communicate, but the other person is not willing to do that.
Sweetheart, what you are saying right now, I feel that probably the relationship, whichever relationship you are referring to, is definitely not in honeymoon, and probably not even in a plateau stage, which is the second stage of the marriage. Probably we're dealing in a trauma when one partner already refuses to communicate, right? And refuses to understand the first one. In this case, you need professional help, right? To resolve these issues. It won't be easy to you just be doing your EFT, okay? You are going to go into a space of peace and calmness for that matter. But if the stimuli is constant, right, this is not the remedy, let's put it this way. Okay, so it's like there is a wound and you are healing it. However, if somebody comes and again scratches, again damages it, it's not going to be healed. But what I'm trying to say here, if there are spouses living together, even though they are not communicating, they don't have intimacy or whatever issues are there, but they are still living together, deep down intention is to be together. And we need to hook onto that good intention. And until it's not completely destroyed to the level where it's irreparable, we need to do something about it. And there is a couple therapy for that. You see where I'm coming from? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thanks.
So if it is about you, that you are not able to communicate, please say, even though I want to communicate, I'm dying to communicate, but I cannot communicate, and you can tap it out. But if it's about another person, that person needs to learn this EFT and say that even though I don't want to communicate to my spouse and I'm angry and I'm resentful, yet I choose to. So his anger and resentment is going to go away. So EFT works on whoever you are doing it. However, before we come to the end of the seminar, there is an amazing part of EFT, which is called surrogate EFT. It wasn't in the seminar because we do it in advanced courses, but I'm going to teach you since your question is such. Surrogate EFT is a process that I can do it for somebody else. Okay, so for example, my child is angry and my child refuses. I'm not going to do the stupid, rubbing your hand. It's not going to help me. How it is going to help me? The teacher is annoying and I'm again going to go to her class. Okay, so in such case, you can imagine that you are your child or you are your spouse if you know how they feel. Okay, it's kind of you are lending your physical body to them. And you are doing exactly what they have just expressed. Even though I'm so annoyed with my teacher, and again, I have to go in her class tomorrow and I have anxiety, I don't want to go, I'll rather fall sick, yet I choose to heal and integrate that part of me. So you can become that person and do that EFT. So probably the question that you asked me about the spouse, if you know more or less what your partner is experiencing, whether he's angry or resentful or just tired or overwhelmed, you can just start doing it, pretending as if it's him. Okay, and through your body you can release it. It works in a multiple levels. It's very versatile tool, and you can do this. It's extremely powerful. You need to use it to understand its results. Okay, so in such cases, when it's about another person doesn't want to do it, you can do it for them.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. I'll try that.
Yeah, but these people have to be your family members, because usually when you do something like this, you need a permission. So if your child is angry, at least it's your child and you know that your child wants not to be angry. But please don't start doing it for your colleagues in the office or neighbors or extended family.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Thanks.
Any other questions? So should we run with slides? Yeah. And tell me, when should I go to another slide? When should I change? So here in this sentence, you can say, instead of yet I choose to, you can say still I choose to heal and integrate that part of me, love and accept myself. If you are dealing with kids, remove heal and integrate that part of me, because that doesn't make sense to them. So don't do something that doesn't make sense to them. Just say love and accept myself deeply and completely. Okay, so for kids, you can just use even though yet I choose to love and accept myself deeply and completely. And these are the points. And then deep cleansing breath. And that brings you to the second round of EFT. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, sorry, I don't recall the slide where you said that what is it about that makes it a 5? What does that mean again? I'm sorry, I forgot that.
Say again?
You know the slide, the white slide where you just have one question there. What is it about that makes it
No,
a
no,
5?
that's not part of it. That I was
Okay.
doing something
Okay.
else. Yeah, that's not
Okay.
part of it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Do you have any questions?
That's it for me.
Okay, Komal. Zara, what about you, Amir?
Thank you, Irene. No, that was perfect. Recapping the slides is absolutely amazing too. So I'll have a go at that today. But you said try and do this every single day, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Just commit to it. It's kind of like a self-hypnosis, you know, you need to commit to it to see the results. Just do it for 1 month. I'm talking about not the results of one particular incident. You can just tap it out in 2-3 rounds and that's okay. I'm talking about completely detoxifying yourself and, you know, feeling this new energy, new inspiration. That might require time, depending on your life, of course, more or less, and the resilience that you have. So please use it every day. Do not sleep over the problem. Let's say somebody has done something today, somebody misbehaved, or there was an incident. Do not sleep, because when you sleep, then is when you take this emotional charge and store in your unconscious, which is like 6,000 times more powerful. So if you're going to do EFT just about today, what all has happened today, you will never have those traumatic events in your system. They will never create any problems whatsoever. Okay, so any day you feel there was an argument, there was some expectation you couldn't meet, until you fall asleep, just tap it out. And that will make sure that your system is clean.
That's very helpful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Irina.
Amir, is there anything from your side? Any question?
Thank you very much. It was very useful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amir. And JK?
Thanks a lot.
All right then. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Irene.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.